In the 1990s, the CIA appointed a man named Chase Brandon as their liaison to Hollywood, and he began helping the agency produce dozens of films and television shows for major studios and television networks, including documentaries on the History Channel. Chase Brandon retired in 2007 and was replaced by a man named Paul Berry, who continues with this task. Former CIA officer Bob Barr once said that all these people that run the studios, they go to Washington, they hang out with senators, they hang out with CIA directors, and everybody's on board. Well, on board with what, you ask? Making government-sanctioned propaganda disguised as entertainment. Just a few weeks after the 9/11 attacks, CBS launched a new series about the CIA called The Agency, which was shot on location at the actual CIA headquarters and largely focused on the hunt for Osama bin Laden and how the CIA was working tirelessly to keep America safe. The director of The Recruit, which came out in 2003, a spy thriller starring Al Pacino and Colin Farrell, was invited to visit the CIA's headquarters in Langley, Virginia, so that he could understand how the space worked and looked. But he wasn't just brought there for a tour. The CIA's Entertainment Liaison Office was involved in the production of the film to make sure that it didn't cast the CIA as a whole in a negative light. Only Al Pacino's character, who was a corrupt agent and eventually discovered. Over a decade later, The Atlantic would publish a story titled "How the CIA Hoodwinked Hollywood," which explained, quote, "The agency has established a very active spin machine in the heart of the entertainment capital, which works strenuously to make sure the cloak and dagger world is presented in heroic terms. Since the mid-1990s, but especially after 9/11, American screenwriters, directors, and producers have traded positive portrayal of the spy profession in film or television projects for special access and favors at CIA headquarters." Robert De Niro played a retired CIA officer in Meet the Parents, who famously hooks Ben Stiller up to a lie detector as part of his overprotective antics to determine if Stiller could be trusted to marry his daughter. And apparently the original script included a brief scene showing torture manuals on De Niro's bookshelf once Stiller stumbled into a secret office in the basement and learned his future father-in-law's true identity. But the CIA told the studio not to include them on the shelf since that would cast the agency in a negative light. Not all films about the CIA show them in a positive light, however. Those movies have to be made without the help of any government agency. Of course, Matt Damon stars in The Bourne Identity, which is loosely based on the CIA's very real mind control experiments, MKUltra. Needless to say, the CIA would rather sweep that under the rug and didn't provide any assistance in its production. Many legal experts believe that entertainment liaison offices actually violate the First Amendment because they only help producers whose films portray the US government, the military, and various other alphabet agencies in a positive light. This kind of selective help is the equivalent of the government refusing to allow certain groups from reserving a town hall venue, for example, because of what those groups or their leaders believe. Law professor Erwin Chemerinsky, who teaches at the University of Southern California, argues that, quote, "The government cannot favor some speech due to its viewpoint and disfavor others because of its viewpoint. The court has said that when the government is giving financial benefits, it can't decide who to give to or who not to give to based on viewpoint expressed." He and others say that this one-sided favoritism is no different than if the government gave one particular religious group material support or financial favors while denying those same benefits to others. Aside from the CIA aiding in the production of various films and television shows, their involvement in the entertainment industry goes much further and sounds like something right out of a movie. A former CIA officer named John Rizzo wrote a memoir called Company Man, 30 Years of Crisis and Controversy in the CIA, where he admitted that the agency regularly works with production companies that allow CIA operatives to work undercover as members of the crew when a film is being shot on location in a foreign country. Quote, "Among businesses in general, the CIA has long had a special relationship with the entertainment industry, devoting considerable attention to fostering relationships with Hollywood movers and shakers, studio executives, producers, directors, and big-name actors," Rizzo explains. He also said that some celebrities have been enlisted as CIA assets through the agency's National Resources Division, which recruits foreign students studying in America, business people here on visas, and foreign diplomats the agency wants to become spies for the United States when they return to their home countries. Once initiated, the celebrities are used to relay information to the CIA about foreign leaders they meet, since they'll often speak more candidly with a celebrity than with diplomats or reporters due to being starstruck and letting their guard down. In his book, he also says that a major film star once approached the CIA himself, wanting to work for them just out of his patriotic duty after the actor learned that another major studio had a relationship with the agency. And Rizzo says that the actor asked his CIA handler for $50,000 worth of cocaine for his services, which the agency allegedly refused. I'm guessing that it was Charlie Sheen, but that's just a guess. When Ben Affleck was promoting his film Argo, which came out in 2012, which is based on the true story of the CIA working undercover with a film studio to infiltrate Iran to rescue American hostages under the guise of shooting a movie there back in like the late 70s, early 80s, he was asked by a reporter if he thought there were any actors working as CIA operatives in Hollywood today.
I think there are probably quite a few, yes. I think probably Hollywood is full of CIA agents, and we just don't know it. And I wouldn't be surprised at all to discover that, this was extremely common.
Knowing what happened with the Iranian hostage rescue and working on other films that are overseen by the CIA's Entertainment Liaison Office, Ben Affleck is certainly in a position to know. He also starred in The Sum of All Fears, which came out in 2002, where he played a CIA analyst, another film that was produced with the help of Chase Brandon, the agency's entertainment liaison at the time. That film was based on Tom Clancy's book by the same name, but in the film, the plot was changed so dramatically from the novel that Clancy joked the director had ignored the book entirely. In the book, the plot revolves around the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, but in the film, the terrorists were changed to white supremacists who want to trigger a nuclear war between Russia and the United States in order to create a fascist, white nationalist superstate in Europe. Ben Affleck's now ex-wife, Jennifer Garner, also played a CIA agent in ABC's thriller Alias, which the Central Intelligence Agency, of course, also consulted on. So he is obviously very familiar with how close the agency works with Hollywood. And if you want to learn more about how Hollywood really works, then order my new book, Hollywood Propaganda: How TV, Movies, and Music Shape Our Culture, in paperback from Amazon.com, or download the ebook onto your tablet from any of the major ebook stores. And if you like my videos, you're really gonna like the book. There's lots of stuff in there that I can't get into on YouTube for obvious reasons. So click the link in the description below or head on over to Amazon.com and check it out.